universities are dramatically underfunded and under-resourced. And the same often applies to city-level governments that have got a very slim tax base and is often deliberately and explicitly under, if you will, powered because of constitutional and legislative dispensations that give very little functional power and resources to city government. So that's an important part of thinking through what works and what doesn't. But that said, it's still very clear that there's a whole number of very specific interventions that scientific communities can make to support urban processes, especially in a context where you've got the fastest rates of urbanization of any world region taking place on the continent. But it is in a context where there's very, very limited infrastructural access, particularly network infrastructures. So one of the interesting and urgent tasks is really to help cities plot pathways, not just for infrastructure investment, but of course for sustainable infrastructure investment, and then to contextualize what sustainability means or resilience in that context, because it's not simply about carbon performance or materials efficiency. It has to also speak to questions of labor inclusivity, labor intensivity. How does one restitch broken fabrics? How do you deal with social inequalities? And so that by definition means that you've got to extend well beyond an engineering or a technicist definition of these infrastructural practices. So, I can go through the list of all the innovations we need, whether it is nature-based solutions for placemaking, whether it is how you support social enterprises in particularly poor communities so that they can be knitted into public investment programs or private sector investment programs, how you rethink the curriculum of formal education, public educational programs, because the key difference is that you need the active participation of citizens in every form of investment or design response and so on. And so it is easy to identify what the role of science could be in these contexts, but there's still a number of questions about how does one effect the necessary transitions, both within universities and within the public sector, so that they can optimize the potential of working differently.